Alright, you guys, I got a crazy story for you, but before I get into it, just know once again I will be talking about sensitive topics within my recovery. So, for those who don't know, before I transitioned, I struggled a lot with an eating disorder. Just to give you a visual of what a different place I was in at the time, I'll show you some pictures. 1, 2, 3, 4, and here's another one. I've since graduated recovery for not just my eating disorder. I've also been sober for like over 8 years now. But my main issue was definitely the eating disorder. And fortunately, when I transitioned, a lot of it just naturally resolved itself. But I really want to tell this story because I just think it's very profound. I wanted to share this story because anyone who's dealing with body dysmorphia, whether they struggle with a really severe ED or not, the story I'm about to tell you really like puts it into perspective how much body dysmorphia can completely alter your image of yourself and just detach you from reality. So one day I went to Target. I was with my family, but I went off by myself. And I was looking at clothes or whatever. I was in the kids section because I was so small at that point. That's basically where I had to shop. Although, don't get it mistaken, I would brag about that at any given moment, because to me it was like such an accomplishment that I could fit into kids' clothes. I was in my 20s, like a grown ass woman. But I was in the store, I was shopping or whatever, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw like a tall, very thin woman, and she just seemed so thin. And I realize this sounds creepy, but when I looked back and she wasn't there, I was like, I gotta see where she is. I have to see her again. I know that sounds crazy. I wouldn't have approached her or anything, but in my head she was like an ideal. Like she was so thin that like that's what I was after. Like that's what I needed to see what she looked like because that was what I wanted. That's what I wanted to be. I realize how irrational this is, but I circled the store for quite some time looking for this woman until I circled to the same exact place where I saw her in the kids section. And I stood in the same spot and I looked out of the corner of my eye just to kind of like trace back to where it all started. And I realized it was a mirror. I was looking at myself. I saw myself, my own reflection, out of the corner of my eye. And I literally was just circling the store trying to find this, like, woman who was extremely thin, like, because that was my ideal. I didn't even realize it was me. That story has always blown my mind, like, going through it blew my mind to know that, like, it can just alter your perception of yourself so much. I don't know, maybe it'll help someone. I don't know.